I'm your host, Hassan Aline,
Co-host Kyle Williams,
in Apartheid, Michigan.
Michigan.
Apartheid, Michigan. Looks like it's going to be a pleasant day today.
Yeah, the sun is shining.
Sun is shining.
Yeah, it's
Ooh,
a little bit warm now.
Good Friday's coming up, Easter Sunday, huh? All right. And what are we talking about? I don't know what we talked about last week. Started always the same thing, isn't it? What are they doing to us? What are they doing to us? Well, let me say this by starting off, ladies and gentlemen, about these schools. We can go to something else, whatever you want to talk about. But on the charter schools, on the public schools, they have what, 4 people to choose from, 4 entities. Eastern Michigan University, was it Eastern Michigan or Central?
Yeah,
I think it was Eastern, one of them.
Eastern.
But all of those universities, not all of them. Wayne State has an independent board. U of M has an independent board that we vote on, and Michigan State. Wayne State, Michigan State, and U of M, University of Michigan, all have independent boards that the citizens across the state of Michigan voted on. For those people, we call them directors, some of them board of governors, to run them. And those other 15 universities, the governor appoints everybody.
There's a big difference.
Oh, it's a big difference when they want you to partner with somebody the governor appoint, the same gangster Snyder that we have for a governor that wants to close down the Detroit public schools, and that was his goal when he got in. And it says right here in the Michigan Constitution, which you don't want to
Free,
free
you don't want to read it.
each board of control shall consist of 8 members. That's what they call a board of control. Isn't that something? Who shall hold office for terms of 8 years, not more than 2 of which shall expire in the same year, and who shall be appointed by the governor by and with the advice and consent of the Senate. Vacancies shall be filled in like manner. Now, as these appointments come up, the governor makes them. So there's 15 of those universities, I believe. And they all, Fair State, Western, Central Michigan, Northern Michigan University. So they are all appointed by those people. Board is appointed by the governor of state, Governor Snyder. So it's impossible to go with these people. We need to know the tricks that they're playing, ladies and gentlemen, because why would that be in the mix? Why would one of those schools be in the mix that the governor appointed and you're going to partnership with them? Now, all of a sudden, you know these people, we don't know who they were. We still don't know who they are. And what I mean by who they are, who are they leaning toward? Whose side are they on? They're not on our side, they just showed up. We're talking about the new school board and the members that just showed up. So if you don't get a Michigan Constitution, you don't know what's going on. That was Article 8, Section 6.
Okay.
Article 8, Section 6, you can read about it yourself. And that's what we like to do. We like to share this information with you so you'll know what's going on and how we're being bamboozled and hoodwinked. Because these folks get up all the time and saying what a grand thing they're doing for the schools and how hard they're working. They're not working at all. They're getting paid while we're being played. Those state reps and folks that are walking around here, they could have said it all the time. But this local control agreement, we don't know what's in the agreement. Nobody has told us. They won't share it with us. Maybe it's on the website. Did you know?
No, I haven't seen it.
But one of those universities, Wayne State, and you had a professor over there, Perjoni, that did a lot of work, testified on behalf of the Detroit Public Schools, how they were playing game with the figures, and how Detroit was not an abysmal failure, and how they were making gains and strides. That was a Wayne State professor. That seems to me to be the school that Detroit should go with. Man, maybe you got a better pick out of the 4. But U of M haven't said a word. University of Michigan, they ain't say anything. Michigan State didn't say anything. What did they do? Now everybody kept quiet. Well, it's the black folks' fight. It ain't none of ours.
Yeah, that's the way they feel.
That's the way they feel. And so the other thing is, I don't know if this election for mayor is going to heat up or not, but as we think it's going to heat up in the summer, people need to look at this crazy stuff about they're going to do what to the neighborhood? They're going to start to redevelop the neighborhood. You're going to believe some old hogwash and baloney, right? I don't know. That's some real beef there, some real bull that they're giving you. Look at the areas where they were building up in the city before. Look at Pole Town. They built the plant. They wiped out half of them houses over there. On Shane, you know where it's at, on Shane in 94. And so now there's nothing over there. You go up Shane, 94, all the way back to Gratiot. There's nothing but devastation, tore out neighborhoods because of people moved. The businesses on Shane used to be wall to wall, wasn't it, Carl?
Yeah.
Both sides of the street.
You didn't go downtown unless it was something big item or something special, because they had clothing stores, they had cancellation shoes. They had, the only time you would go downtown is like you want to go to a special affair and you want to get a special outfit.
Okay.
But most of the things you can get right there in the community.
So they haven't done anything to fix that neighborhood up. As they should have left the plan out. They could have left the plan out, and the neighborhood, for all practical reasons, would have still been intact 30 years later. So, but I know the mayor back then was trying to get jobs in the city, and that was the first plant that was built. Now we know why they don't build plants in the city, and what effect it has on the neighborhood. And the plants we do see in the city, that was like at the end of the city, or down in what they call the industrial area of the city, a place where they had picked out for the plants. But what about 12th Street, Rosa Parks, where the rebellion took place? Some people like to call it a riot, or one of a rebellion, and that's some more science fiction going on.
Yeah.
But what about that neighborhood? 50 years later, nothing's happened to it. No changes. They had a shopping center they put in, some townhouses city owned, and that's it. The neighborhood has went down. So all this neighborhood development, why are we kidding ourselves? Why you believe in Magic Mike parachutes in from Livonia is going to actually do something for the city of Detroit?
You're going to do something going to help you move you out of Detroit.
Move them out. Keep it rolling. And anything, they changed the name, but it's been in the dictionary all the time, gentrification, where you want to get rid of people, where you want to move them out. And usually they're not just talking about black folks, any poor people. You want to change the neighborhood. The poor folks got the best land, so you want to move them out, so they gentrify the land, gentrification. Before, when it was just black folks, they were getting rid of black bottom and all this other stuff. They call it Negro removal. So there was no doubt about what they were doing. Now what's wrong with us? We act like they don't know they got a reason why they're moving us out. And look at, but Carl, when you look at how extensive this program has been, ladies and gentlemen, you may say extensive. Yes, a lot of work went into it. They shut down the schools.
Yeah.
No schools, no neighborhood. So they got together with the schools. They got together with people telling them lies about the schools, weren't making the grade and all that. But before that, that's what they're saying now under Gangster Snyder. But before that, when Robert Bobb came in and it was Jennifer Granholm, the governor, the Democratic governor, when she was governor, they said, oh, we don't have enough money. They told her lies. See, they keep flipping the script on us. They say something one day and you forget about they said something different. 2 weeks later, you say, oh, that's right, they're right. No, they're not right, they're wrong. They did wrong. They've always been wrong. The only thing they've been right about is your attention span. Very short attention span. Now look, they went around, and we say this from time to time, They gave those schools, oh, this is a grade A school, this is a grade A plus school, B plus school. Michigan Teacher of the Year was over there at one of those schools. I have to write that name of that school down. It escapes me each time. Off of Lawton and Philadelphia, right down the street from Reverend Franklin's church. He is on Linwood in Philadelphia. It might have been a block over there in Pingree, Lawton and Pingree. That's where the Teacher of the Year, what was that, 209 or something?
Yeah. Well, ain't been too-
206, 209, somewhere around there. Michigan Teacher of the Year, right? Detroit Public School. And we forget about all that. We forget about the chess clubs and that they were beating them in the chess clubs, and the fact that the robotics and all this high tech was coming out of the Detroit Public Schools, and they were the leader, and they're the ones that were making the top. They got the top grades in the test across the state. And so they had to send the Detroit Public Schools to the Nationals. Isn't that something? They were hot about that.
Oh, yeah.
But they telling you your child wasn't learning anything, and you believed it because somebody else told you.
And you have to think to play chess.
You had to think to. Oh yeah.
You can't. That's a thinking man's game. So they didn't want to promote that.
And the man was working right here in Detroit Public Schools. They got rid of him. He's in the charter school now. What's his name? Fife? Something like that. I'm trying to recall the man's name, but we had him on the show once. And you know, when what was it, the Detroit Chess Club or something like that? When him and his partner took over, and they were raising so much sand. Now, I'm gonna say Dearborn, but Dearborn probably has the Grosse Pointe has put chess in their curriculum. Third grade. Yeah, Grosse Pointe, they got to keep up. Can't let you darkies outdo them. But we're the ones sitting around talking about, well, our kids, we just don't know this and know that. And how do you get people like that that's going to say they fighting for you, fighting for our children? They don't know what's going on, and they can't tell you all the things that has happened that we led in, because if they said that, then you would know, well, wait a minute. And we were leading, why did they shut down the school? Because it was all a lie. Because they wanted to get rid of you. That's why. Because when they start talking about this neighborhood, and you know it's going to take, we've seen where they haven't did anything in 30 or 40 years. So why do you believe they're going to rebuild your neighborhood? And he wouldn't give you a job. The first thing on stabilizing the neighborhood was to give Detroiters a job. Coleman Young the first did it. Coleman Alexander Young did it. Oh, that's right. Y'all don't want to talk about him, do you?
Oh, no. No.
Detroit Free Press said that he was the best mayor that Detroit has ever had. Best mayor that ran the city. In the last, 75 years, some years? Mayor Coleman Alexander Young. And I know y'all still saying, well, he didn't do nothing. He didn't do. Well, y'all, it's because you're haters.
You don't know what went on back then.
And they never looked at the facts. And here, one of the things he did when he stopped stress, when he stopped the police from snatching you out your car, hitting you in the head, throwing you upside the wall, all of a sudden it's back now. What do you mean it's back? It's back, Jack. What part of it's back that you don't understand? You got this mayor in here, overnight, 75% of the police force is white.
That's right.
So what do you think, will he get 10 more? Or no, he don't need 10 more percent. He just need another term. They going to go back to slapping and jacking you up and kicking you and stomping you upside your head. You're going to be upside that wall, and they going to be upside the head on that nightstick. Coleman Young stopped that when he was mayor. Stopped it dead in its tracks. And this man is going to bring it back. It's already coming back.
That's right. You see, he's tying police officers from outside to say you never hear him mention anything for Detroit residents. It's always outside of Detroit.
Well, they can't find him.
Shoot, you ain't looking. Can't find nothing if you ain't looking for him.
They can't find any. They can't find a brother. Then when they say, well, we got some, but they all on drugs. You don't know. Why y'all don't ever say your mama? They don't say nothing, do they?
No, don't say a
They
word.
just let them get away with that. They all on drugs. There's more white folks on drugs. They saying it every day
They-
on the news. They're on the news all out the suburb. Oh, that's right. Y'all don't know. They use the word opiates. The opiates. They running commercials. Oh, I have this problem with my bowel movement, and my intestine is stuck in there somewhere, and I've got to take these. This other stuff is good for me now, but see, what happened was I was taking them opiates. I got hurt, and I needed this opiate. It's a drug, heroin, sleep-inducing drugs, opiates from the poppy. Oh, that's that heavy stuff, ain't it?
Yeah. Just
So,
change the name. And keep
Change
on
the name
saying
and keep on going, and we don't even know what they said. We need to wake up. We need to wake up and get on board. You know, this is a crucial election we're going into. You look around the city, they pushing the black folks out. What about the jail? What about the jail that they act like they don't want a bill? They're going to start, and they want Mr. Gilbert, Dan Gilbert, to dance in there and sneak away with the jail. And so the whole point on is, ladies and gentlemen, all of a sudden the man from Cleveland, Ohio owns the city. He owns downtown, don't he?
Yeah.
They just give it to him. He don't have to pay for it. They just give it to him. But here, you know what's so crazy? What do they have to say and do to tell you, say, we don't want you here, colored boy. We don't want your kind in the city of Detroit. Now, how somebody from Cleveland come in here and tell you they don't want you in your own city? Somebody from Livonia come in and tell you they don't want you in the city of Detroit. And you, well, he didn't say that. Hell, if he did, can you go downtown? Can you go downtown without a pass? Can you get out on Bill Isle without a pass? People don't even go to Bill Isle. Y'all sitting around here and the man making them moves on you, and what do? Nothing.
Don't even see it.
Don't even see it. Young bloods, you better wake up. Old school, I don't know what happened. They done lost the juice. They done lost the touch. Maybe they done got senile. Maybe they done taking that medicine with that opiate in it.
Whatever they're doing, they better stop.
It's some rough stuff out
Wake
here,
up.
ladies and gentlemen. We got to wake up. We got to get up and stop playing these little games. If the man, I'm talking about if the current mayor don't want to give you a job, he got every reason why he can't give you a job. You can't tear down a house. And what are you hanging around with this guy for? What
Don't make
what
no
makes
sense.
you think he gonna do so much for you?
he with the demolition, he made sure that they raised the cost so minorities couldn't even participate in the
Yep.
demolition procedures. So what makes you think that he's gonna do anything to benefit you? And there wasn't he didn't have no legitimate reason for doing it.
What you mean legitimate reason? He want all the money. That's a legitimate reason.
That's not legitimate.
Oh.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not.
Oh, I thought it
Not
was.
when it's not just your money. You getting funds from the federal government and everywhere else.
That we help pay for.
That's right, from
Our
our
federal
taxes.
dollars, our tax money. More they something else. You know what though, Carl? Maybe they blinded.
Yeah, they must be blind and tight-tongued too.
Yeah, they're blinded by the white. You know, that's the difference, huh? They were blinded by the white. Y'all heard me. I didn't say light. I said white. You heard me. They can't think. Mr. Charlie, what he gonna do for you? What he gonna help you out? Now look at all this. I mean, look at this rosy scenario we done painted. And then, who throw that weed over there? We trying to plant some, I don't know, out here in the desert. And somebody throw the weed. What weed? The weeds where they say, we going to get rid of the churches now. We going to charge them double. They already paying for a sewer. You already paying for the sewer. A fee for the sewer or a tax for the sewer. And now we're going to charge you again.
Yeah,
Talking
double
about,
tax.
they're going to say, oh, this is a drainage fee. And we charge you for the parking lot. Your parking lot is already hooked up to the sewer. They got those covers out there. Some people we call them manhole covers, a cover to keep you from putting your foot in there for trash to go down in the sewer. Or for your car to run over that hole. They in your parking lot. You know, I don't care which one you go by. You go by Straight Gates Church over on Grand River, they got them out there. They got these sewer covers and manhole covers. I was by Chapel Hill, looked over there, they got them. What makes people think? They don't think. There's no standing water in your parking lot. There's no standing water. There's no puddles of water out there. That means it went somewhere. And they say, oh, this is the pervious surfaces. Well, that's asphalt, concrete. And the water can't penetrate through that. Therefore, they had to put a sewer in there or a drain that connects to your sewer that you've been paying for the last 20 years. Long as Straight Gate been over there, and before Straight Gate had it, the public schools had it, and before that it was a Jewish school. So you talking about that Straight Gate Church that's been over there, the parking lot's been over there 50 years.
Sewage probably been paid for by now.
Well, they paying the same sewage bill.
I know it, but I'm saying.
Yeah, they didn't pay for it.
Shoot.
Whatever they charging, they didn't pay for it. And the people don't know what they talking about, ladies and gentlemen. They hung up on the word purpose. Okay, if the water can't go through the concrete, if it won't go through the asphalt, then how did it get out of your parking lot?
Didn't just disappear.
Well, they think it disappeared, huh? They don't know what you're going to talk about there. You know, and no, it didn't disappear. It went down the sewer drain that you're already paying for. The man charging you twice. Now, look, Mike Duggan isn't any kind of genius. He doesn't know anything about sewers. All he knows is what they told him. That's what makes it so good. That's what makes it so believable. Two of y'all talking and don't either one of you know what he's talking about. And we keep saying to you, you don't go out there, and it was raining. We had all kind of rain the last couple of days, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you had a hole in your roof, you knew about it. So how come you don't know about this water that's standing in your parking lot that you had to get your boots on to go to church or to the BTU meeting or to the usher board meeting during the week? Because they lying to you.
And you just sit there and just,
I don't understand that. So I know a lot of the preachers are mad about it. We done sent out all kind of emails to them. We got newsletters around there. We've been telling them. We've been telling you so you can go out there and tell them. But the mayor is so arrogant, he could have waited.
Oh, yeah.
He could have waited after he got elected. But, oh, no. These are my coons.
And I'm going to do what I want to do.
These are my monkeys. Look, I'm going to make them jump. I'm going to make them scratch when they're not itching. Uh-huh.
And see, and another thing about it is, have you heard anybody say anything about voting on that drainage fee?
No.
Well, according to Article 4, Section 29, since it is a general act, because everybody have, I mean, when it rains, it just don't rain in Detroit. It rain over the whole state of Michigan, or the whole region, as they want to call it. So that would make it a general act or a general law, which would be applied to everybody.
You know what?
But since they want to apply it just to Detroit, that make it a local or special act. So we are entitled to vote on it.
That's right.
But you don't hear nobody saying anything about it.
They rob them. They don't know. Now, I know y'all, some of y'all got a little teed off when I say y'all monkeys. Detroit Edison is having a DTE Energy is hosting a faith-based supplier immersion day. So they want you to come out and get some of these contracts or opportunities for construction, electrical service, engineering service, flooring, general, building maintenance, line clearance, plumbing, restoration, waste management, just pick up. But look what it says. To attend, please register. www.surveymonkey.com.
Yeah, they just...
They call you monkeys now to your face, and it's okay. Don't get mad at me because I repeated what they said. I want you to know that's what they said. And that's one at Reverend Anthony's Church. Fellowship event will be held at Fellowship Chapel Banquet and Conference System, 7707 West Otter Drive, Detroit 48235. So in order to get a grant, in order to be looked favorably upon, in order to get a grant, you got to take their insults, and the man can call you a monkey and tell you to go to the Survey Monkey. Woo! All right. I wonder if a whole lot of preachers gonna be in there.
It's rough.
Y'all just typing in. Well, I don't know. We don't care. So if you're getting the attitude, you know you can't get the grant. You're not gonna get the grant anyway. You got to be a idiot. Think Detroit Edison. Who's been sued? What company in the city of Detroit been sued more than Detroit Edison? Going back to the 70s, Detroit Edison don't care. They just pay the money and keep going. Oh, I know. Y'all forgot about Detroit Edison. So you got short memories. You forget about everything when it come down to white folks talking about blacks and saying you can't read, you ignorant, you dumb, and you a bunch of monkeys. And if you want some of this faith-based money, you better fill out this monkey survey.
Yeah, they don't even care.
And now y'all know I couldn't wait to get on here to talk.
To tell you that.
I couldn't wait. Tuesday didn't come soon enough. Couldn't come quick enough. When I tell you how they do. I guess the preachers need to get in there and take the Survey Monkey. Maybe they can get a couple of grants that they can pay at their pockets, because they're going to close the church down because the man don't know that they're being charged twice.
Been charged twice. Well, I made some objections, but this last one, I had to make another modified objection, adding about the local act. And the last one that I sent, I haven't got no response from. But if, I would think that I would be getting phone calls or some kind of inquiry behind all this.
But didn't you tell me some preacher sent you a letter or called you or something?
Yeah, that was one with the Community Baptist preachers.
Okay, so somebody did return the call.
Yeah, we were saying, one of the objections.
Oh, he
that was from back in last year in August or October.
All right.
But this time, I made up a few.
I know.
But I got to make up some more and send them out to those particular churches, and maybe he will respond. Because the churches is in the driving seat, but I don't know what's wrong with them. They just got a yellow streak down their back, or they just don't know what's going on.
They want some of that monkey money, that survey monkey money. What you say about?
What that got to do with the churches? They could be dictating what's going on.
But I read it said this is a faith-based initiative. Faith-based. Don't that mean the churches? Yeah.
They ain't gonna get a dime.
I don't think they're gonna get any money either. They got 4 or 5 that may get some money. Because I don't see how them guys riding around in them Jags and all them Bentleys, how they don't believe in getting their hands dirty, do they? They don't believe in having a company that's cutting down the limbs off of these trees and stuff. They don't believe in that. They believe in passing the basket. But we'll see. Let's take some calls. Somebody's been waiting a long time here. Caller, you on the air. How can we help you?
Good morning, gentlemen. I was listening to your program.
Good morning. How are you, Dee?
Okie dokie. Wow, this is a hot show today.
Well, it's nice outside. and I couldn't wait to talk about that monkey survey. I want somebody to tell me why you got to fill out a form that says survey monkeys and it ain't to the white folks. How come they don't fill out the same one? This is faith-based money now.
Faith-based money.
Yeah, that's what they said. And it's on the different churches' websites. Now, I saw that on, too. I saw that on Dabo's website, and I saw it on Reverend Anthony's website. The NAACP, somebody out there.
Monkey. Like chimpanzee. Monkey.
Yeah.
Well, they've been calling that. Why should they change? Why would they change? They just done got bold again.
Oh, yeah, they just...
Mike Duggan is in office.
Over there, and I got a question for Carl also, but it's a group called The Platform. They're getting all the contracts here in the city of Detroit, They've got the Fitzgerald Project from McNichols to Puritan, Livernois to Greenline. They're giving them about $5 million to go over there in that area. And they're also giving them 115 homes to rehab, or they're going to tear down 16 of them. They're going to only have 20%, which is only like 20 homes that are going to be affordable. The rest are going to be market rate. So they're going to, and they're giving them 192 vacant lots that they can plant flowers on.
Well, that's illegal.
And they're going to make a park.
They don't care that it's illegal because they're criminals, and you cannot give away surplus city land, surplus property. It's got to be bidded on. It's got to be auctioned off. If that was the case, if they could just give it away, don't you think Wayne County would give their property away? They've been and gave a lot of their property away to their friends and family. That has to be auctioned. So this mayor is engaging in a criminal enterprise. All around, he's just giving off people. And but that's right, they want the dodo birds on the city council to okay it. That it? They go to city council and the council votes to give it away. Look, we need some young blood, somebody to run. What day is it? What day is the elections over for turning your petitions?
April 25th, I believe.
Not too long. Not too long. So they're going to sit there and do all that jaw-jacking and crying about what can't be done, but they're not going to get in the game and change anything. Is that it?
Well, you've got some people in the game from there. Coleman Alexander Young, the second.
All right.
But this same group, and I'm not going to take a lot of time, this same group, the platform group, they've been acquiring land just like Dan Gilbert. They're going to build apartments in Midtown, over 1,000 apartments, and you know those are going to all be market rate. When I say market rate, we're talking about what? If you're renting $2,000 a month, or maybe a $300,000 home, so they're going to price us out of the market in the city of Detroit. Okay, they've got 411 Piquette and Brush. You know what building that is? You said it was across the street, I think, from the old Ford plant.
You said it's on the west side, so it's probably the same one. What was that market? That
Piquette Market.
Piquette Market. That's a big building right over there.
They own that. They're just giving them all of this land, all these buildings, and Carl, when Saturday at Hood Research meeting, the gentleman was talking about Russell Woods. Can you please explain that to Hassan, what the gentleman was saying?
Well, basically what he was saying really was they were going to redevelop Detroit, and they're going to have some kind of authority. And really, what it boiled down to, they're going to raise the price of the cost of living to live in the city of Detroit. That's what it ended up being.
Well, who was doing this? She was telling me about the Russell Woods Association or somebody.
Did you get that name of that organization?
I know Deanna was asking him about the deeds, who they're going to deed that property to, and I asked the question of if the organization went belly up, who would that land revert back to? Who would those homes revert back to? He didn't have an answer for either one of us.
But he named the group that he said that he was representing.
Russell Woods Association.
Yeah, it was supposed to be another one that he said was going to end up with it.
Oh, yeah.
The white folks. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, but the bottom line is that they're going to make it up. It's going to almost be utterly impossible for you to stay here with all the improvements that they call themselves they're going to make.
It's no improvement. You signing your house over to them. That's all, and they're going to give that improvement. Come on now. The way they improved the house before, you got a grant. Your porch need repair. Your windows need to be put in. You needed a new furnace. You needed a new roof. You got a grant from the city of Detroit. Now you got to pay for all this. You got to get a loan that you know you're not going to live long enough. What are they going to give you, 20-year loan, 15-year loan. People not gonna live no 20, 30 years.
But thanks to Duggan. You remember he went and fought against that. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't see no reason why anybody in their right mind would want to vote for Duggan when you were getting free money. Well, I shouldn't say free money because that was your tax money.
Yeah.
And he was pissed off about it. He wanted you to get loans. Now, who was going to benefit from the loans? The bank, the mortgage company? You certainly wasn't going to benefit
Well,
from it.
we know we didn't. They know we wasn't gonna qualify for the loan, so you were automatically out. So they were bringing in Syrians.
With them loans, you would have qualified for them because the way they had them, it was catered to low-income people.
There wasn't no loan, Carl. Those were grants.
I mean, grants. I'm talking
Yeah,
about the
where
grants.
they turned the grant to the loan. And then, ladies and gentlemen, did you hear this? I wasn't there to listen to all that old juicy stuff. If the man didn't know what a deed was, the young man didn't know what a deed was, you know.
He know
they
what it
just-
was. He just wouldn't tell them who would get it.
Oh, he wouldn't tell you who's going to have the deed, who was going to hold the deed. Well, how did they get the deed to your property? See how them people over there, the average age is 70 to 80 years old and older in Russell Woods. Mine lived over there about 40 years before she passed. So, hey, they're not going to be around who they deeding the property to. So, it's a giveaway. What they call it, the reverse
Well,
mortgage
you know,
type
the way
situation.
he was
Yeah.
citing it, your residence didn't have anything to do with it, but all the what I say the property surrounding it.
But you know what? That's what most people think. Your residents don't have anything to do with it when they go to these different places and they get a new roof put on their house. You got a roof put on your home. The roof costs $19,000.
Well, then that's automatic because you got to have your house. That's what you're getting it from for your house.
And they
This is different.
they signed a mortgage. They didn't think they was getting anything else. They didn't know they were mortgaging their property for a new roof. And that's what's going on
What happens
now.
if you don't make the payments? Do they take your property over?
They sure will.
Yeah, that's why you have to put
So
your
that's
house
just
in
like the
there.
reverse mortgages that they brought into the neighborhoods.
Well, you
Another
get-
way of taking these homes back.
Right. So everything is to get rid of us, get us out of there. Well, we appreciate
Okay,
that
thank you,
update.
gentlemen. Thank you for letting me listen on the phone.
Okay, thank you for making the call.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Caller, you on the air. Thanks for holding. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's going on?
Y'all all right? I'm kind of speechless this morning, man, but all I'm waiting on is a riot, man. You know, I think that's our
Ain't
only
no
outcome
riot.
here.
Don't have
Is a riot. That's the only thing missing that's the only piece missing from the puzzle. But where's it gonna come from? You know, one question is when you mentioned how much it rained last night, at least 2-3 hours straight, if not longer than that. Now I think the so-called pastors, preachers, reverend, whatever they want to title themselves as, should be outraged. They should be out here rioting. You know, just think of how much money they spent.
Well, they don't have to riot against the man. Look, they don't have to do anything but pick up that pencil or that pen and mark and vote for somebody to get him out of there. You know,
One thing.
look, he's up for re-election, and it ought to be anybody but Duggan, and he's out. It's just that simple. Because you raising the point. Look at how many thousands of dollars this mayor has been gouging the churches out of.
Exactly.
And they won't say, they're just sitting
Won't
there.
say a word.
And then,
And
you know,
not just them, the people.
well, the people
black
don't
people
understand.
here.
You know, they don't understand. They understand something wrong, but when you really look, when the people really see the man charging you twice for the same thing, and he lying to you, he getting you, he's just looking you in the face and he lying. Oh, they're gonna be upset, and they sure enough gonna be upset with that preacher, their reverend, their bishop, that's going along with this fool. And how many thousands of dollars have they just given away? Given away. Not that man didn't come in here. Yeah, he stole it. How did he steal it with a gun and you just going in there saying he'll take my money? I know you charging me twice. Don't nobody see any water out there, no puddles of water in the church lots. But they saying the water ain't draining out, can't drain out. We got to charge you for it. The man lying.
It is not. They don't only happen in Detroit. It happen all over the place. But only Detroit is being charged a drainage fee. That is discrimination. I don't know what's wrong with these preachers. They can't see that.
But it's already connected to the sewer. They've been paying the sewer bill. That parking lot is connected to the sewer. Mike Duggan doesn't know that. And if he did, he's not going to be stupid enough to go out and try to tell you it's not. The water in the front of the building is the drain. That's the rainwater. The water in the back or the parking lot, those are the sewer water. They got two different water lines. How about that? People didn't. Hey, that's what happened when you work for the city of Detroit. You get a chance to understand and see some of that stuff.
Exactly. And see, the messed up part is, like you say, the media not saying nothing with his corruption, with their demolition. You know, with Charlie McDuck was on, they ain't said one word. You know, with them giving out contracts, you know, with the trash. I mean, what's left for the black people other than a riot?
The riot ain't gonna help you.
Look at look at what's going on in Venezuela right now. And their plan is over there, they got a corrupt government. So here, we got a corrupt government. So how do you deal with corruption? You can't deal with corruption with all the time with pen and paper.
You vote them out.
I'm just gonna be straight up.
You vote them out. You know, look at what you're saying.
Getting rid of them.
You vote them out. That's how you get rid of them. You vote them out.
If you don't vote them out, you can recall.
And you got to you got to get your people together on your block, in your neighborhood, on your bowling team. Y'all got to get together and vote these folks out. You know, if we are mad, look, if you say we are mad, and the man said you mad as hell and you ain't going to take it anymore, well, then we got to act like it. Right. We got to act like it. We got to get some folks together. That's how you do that, man. And when they see this big surge of people coming, then Janice Winfrey and nobody else can say that Mike Duggan won by a hair. He won by 2 votes. They know that's going to be a lie. Because they're going to be, you know, when you come out the voting booth, they get to check and they ask you, who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? And they know, they see the sentiment, and it's nothing. It's nothing to stop this. Hey, thanks for the call, caller. It's nothing to stop this, ladies and gentlemen. The preachers in Detroit, some of them got mad at Dennis Archer, former Mayor Dennis Archer, when he was there. Reverend Adams, over there at Hartford Avenue Church, led the charge when they wouldn't let the church buy the land. They didn't want to give them the land. They bought that land that the hospital used to sit on, and they turned it into a Kmart. And that was Mr.
Archer?
Mr. Archer, Mr. I'm not here to make another black man rich. Or the church. See, y'all forget. I don't know what's wrong with them. Y'all just forget about it. Y'all forget about it. And when Reverend Adams said we don't need a mayor that's itching, that's scratching when he's not itching, that's grinning when nothing funny, and he's shuffling his feet and he ain't going nowhere. That's the same.
He said that.
Yeah, he said it, and that's the same thing now. And that fight was on. And Dennis Archer skated out from under that recall. They wasn't playing. And I don't know what's wrong with these preachers around here now begging and acting crazy and trying to go along with this man that's trying to shut the church down. How do you go along with somebody that's violating a fundamental constitutional right? Federal Constitution and state constitution, freedom of worship. How do you have freedom of worship and a man shutting your church down on a lie, on a pretext of a lie?
Which is fraud.
And you going along with it. He gonna tell you got to pay this money. You got to pay all this money. Oh, and he got Hester Wheeler. Yeah. Don't he work for him? He want to be. Man, they got all these people out here because they need some money going along telling that same lie.
All these Sambos.
They telling the same lie. And maybe they don't know the difference. Maybe they don't know what the words pervious mean. Oh, but they tell you every day, don't they? They got it together. They say, oh, yeah, pervious. That mean the water don't penetrate. The water, well, you don't see no standing water in your parking lot. When you going to wake up? If the water's not standing there in the parking lot, if you don't need no boots on to get out your car, what you talking about? Because they want you to pay for it twice. They just come up with any lie.
Mm-hmm.
They just come up with any lie because we don't want you here.
You're going to make it very difficult for you to stay here.
Well, you know what? Let's take this call. Let's take some more calls. Carl, are you on the air?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, you know, in summer, I think it was 92, they, two police officers, Nevers and Butzel, they beat a guy named Miles Green with flashlights and killed him over on Warren. And a lot of activists went over there, and one group was walking around with fatigues on like they was going to fight somebody. They call themselves Homeless Union. They call themselves Welfare Rights now. They was all over there, Malik and all of them. They was over there, and I seen the judge let the police out on bond. So I wouldn't go over there because I didn't want to associate with those activists. But I went over there, and I started agitating to the people in the street, and they start gathering around. So later that evening, we had a sound system, and we asked the people what they wanted to do. I suggested that we would interfere with the trial going on downtown at Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. Another guy, he's deceased now, he said, let's wait till the trial is over and watch around the federal building. Well, everybody agreed with me. Now, these was neighborhood people. This wasn't intended by the activists. But when the neighborhood came out and we had to talking, the neighborhood people, the real revolutionaries, they voted that we should interject downtown. So I met a guy named Benny White. He the one drew the picture about Miles Green. Me and him united. And John Arnold, I didn't know him at the time, but he was a radio talk show host. We organized the people and got about a week and a half. Thousands and thousands upon thousands surrounded Frank Murphy Hall of Justice. The police couldn't move their cars. And that's where, for the first time in history, that a white police officers went to prison for killing a black man, but only when the people was involved. Not no little group like we see these little activist group, maybe like 100 people marching around the building. Now they got so nasty they have demonstrations in the lobby of the General Motors building. So I just wanted to mention that to you. That's a history. That's the last time we as a people won a victory in Detroit. The little groups, welfare rights, call them out. They ain't won nothing. So why I'm going to say that, because if you don't involve masses of people, we can't win. I don't care if you go to court. I don't care if you lobby, appeal. You got to have force behind your appeal, and you got to have force behind your legal work. And that means the only force that we got is the people that was proven in 92 when we went and circled Frank Murphy Hall of Justice, even though the news media gave credit for that to Joanne Watson and Reverend Anthony, which they had absolutely nothing to do with organizing the people. So I just want to mention that to you all. That is, you're talking about the housing. I looked at the Michigan Citizens. There's a group that's talking about buying up houses, putting them in the hand of the people with the old red contract that Coleman Young used. And that group is called Home Team Detroit. And they want to buy up. But all the housing department of Future Detroit, all of them came in Detroit News saying,
okay, we got to go, Tyrone. We got to go. Appreciate that.
Now, Tyrone, most of the stuff that you saying is true, but that's also only one part of it. See, you missed. There's a whole lot of things went on when Miles Green died. got killed.
But here's the whole thing.
And
the main thing that somehow escaped the conversation was the jury. The black jury in Detroit found the police officers guilty of Malice Green's death. Was it manslaughter?
Manslaughter or something like that.
Something like that, whatever they charged them with. And they were in prison. They were in prison, and then they let them out doing what we call over the holiday, the judicially orchestrated jailbreak. The judge let the man out of jail, and the fight was on, and he was put back in again. So
and he wasn't just put back in; he was put back in because we filed a petition.
We filed a lawsuit.
We filed a petition, yeah, a lawsuit.
Well, it's called a lawsuit, so they'll know what you're talking about. We filed a lawsuit to put Malice Green back in jail.
Now, in that lawsuit, we had a petition with signatures
to put Butson and Nevers back in jail. That's what the lawsuit was for.
Yeah, and we had a petition with signatures. I don't know how many signatures we had.
And the other thing,
and that's what had a hell of an effect.
This current mayor was the prosecutor.
Yeah,
Mike Duggan was the prosecutor. Fired. No, he wasn't the prosecutor then. He was the deputy. He was deputy Wayne County executive. That's before he was prosecutor. Deputy Wayne County executive.
You sure?
And he fired. Yeah, that's why he fired Jiraki.
Yeah, because Jiraki, they was kind of get Jiraki to change his
he was the deputy,
testimony
over there at the morgue, over there at Wayne County morgue, and Malice Green didn't have any cocaine in his system. That was a lie that the newspapers and all the radio stations were saying. They beat up a guy, killed him, because he had drugs in his system, and which wasn't nothing but a lie. And the man filed a lawsuit, the whistleblower's lawsuit, and won the money. So there was a lot of things going on then. There were protests. That's true. That's right. There were a lot of groups protesting about that death. They got mad at Coleman Young when he said there wasn't nothing but straight out murder. That's what the mayor said. They go say, oh, you prejudiced the jury. You did this, you did that. There was a lot of inflammatory stuff because the news media and folks believe that white people have a right to beat and kill blacks if you're a cop. And so this is the thing that we say is coming back. And you need to know it, young blood, and you need to see what's going on. The man didn't have any drugs in his system.
No, he didn't, because we had a copy of the medical examination.
The autopsy report. And so he ended up going back to jail. We had to go. They went to federal court, and we know that's what happened around the holiday. But he ended up going back to jail because somebody spoke up. There was legal stuff. That's what we were doing. And you had the people in the streets. It was a combination of things. Don't think it was one, and that's what we got to get back to. A combination. We're going to take this last caller here. Caller, you the last caller.
Well, thank you. Happy Tuesday to both of you.
And happy Tuesday.
Yeah, well, I certainly am glad that you clarified that, because that's one of the things that I was definitely going to point out. And to say that activists are not successful is disingenuous, to say the least. I also want to say that General Granholm, in my opinion, is a Republican in Democrats' clothes. And the other thing about what was going on with Malice Green, he didn't have any drugs in his system. He didn't have any in his hand. He didn't have any in his clothes or in his vehicle. And what the two of you did was exemplary. It really, really was. And O'Hara is the prosecutor who prosecuted them. There's a lot of crazy information coming out. But O'Hara was the main prosecutor. And Mike Duggan worked for McNamara. And he was working to get his friends, I guess, out of the prison, and didn't seem to care about doing the right thing, similar to what seems to be going on now. Now, as it relates to, I hear 100 preachers, somebody told me 100 preachers were supporting him prior to the certification as to him being a candidate. But if we got 4,000 churches, 100 is not 10%. right?
Right.
You're right about that.
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting how the optics put out there, and I think it's optic tricks that are going on out there, just like the clips that get played about applause when the mayor is at a particular venue. But if you've got over $1 million discretionary money as a mayor and over 200 appointees, what you say is you be at point A and bring X number of people with you, which makes the applause louder. It's optics, or in other words, staged. And when candidates are having their press conferences, etc., and they have obviously less people to support them, and you want to compare it, then it pulls out another optic trick. That's what it does.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate that. We got to go. We don't want to go, but we got to go.
Okay, peace.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Hassan Aleem.
Co-host Carl Williams.
And we'll be back next week, next Tuesday. And we want to say a happy Good Friday and Easter to everybody. Everybody. Now, I don't know if you believe the Easter Bunny going to get up, but I don't know if you think he going to lay some eggs, but I know y'all going to color some eggs and you're going to pass out some Easter eggs. And I hope everybody have a great time. Until next week, peace.
Peace.